Hello everyone, welcome to the NN Classroom. Today, I'd like to share with you a past paper question from 2019 Time Zone 2 in May. So that is question number 12, relating to the topic 4 and 14, the understanding of the molecular geometry on the overlapping geometry of bonds, namely calling the sigma bond and the pi bond. Let's see. How many sigma and pi bonds are present in the target hydrogen cyanide, HCN? First of all, the first idea that students should have recognized is that by looking at the bond, first of all, we must be able to constructing the Lewis structure. Simply means the electron dot diagram of this covalent compound, right? Not so difficult is that first of the hydrogen with a single bond linked to a carbon, and this carbon is going to having a triple bond, a really famous triple bond link between carbon and nitrogen, right? Like in a nitrile, right? And don't forget that the nitrogen is going to be having 5 electrons, 3 of them used to form bonds, so still 2 remaining, right? So this is first the Lewis structure, right? From the Lewis structure, we're particularly focusing on the bond, right? Because this is what we are locating on, and students are required to understand the meaning behind sigma and pi bond. So just a simple reminder, sigma bond is talking about all the first bond, simply speaking. The first bond. That means the first time when an atom and an atom forms a bond, it must be a sigma fashion, because sigma is what we call the head-on overlapping between orbitals and orbitals, right? So that's simply applies that the first time when we meet a friend, we must be having the head-on hands shaking, right? So that's why the first interaction must be the sigma fashion. But then if we form further, let's say the second or the third bond within a multiple bond, the second or the third bond within a multiple bond, then we start to use the pi fashion, because the sigma has already occupied the head-on overlapping, the only one position. Then what we do next, if we want to form further extra bond, so that will be sideway overlapping. So that's why the pi fashion is just saying the sideway overlapping of the parallel p and p orbitals, right? So in this case, that means the first bond that we should be locating, which is sigma fashion. And if there is any second or third bond, that will be pi fashion. Simple, right? So that's why, as you can see, the first bond between H and C and the first bond between the C and N, just what I'm now pointing. So these are all sigma fashion. So that's why here comes sigma bonds, right? While the second and the third bond that I'm now pointing to, which is going to be pi fashion. So those are the pi bonds, right? So that's why for this case, we have 2 sigmas while 2 pi's as well. So that's why the answer goes to B.